Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back another video today. Today we're going to be talking about the Indianapolis Colts first round of roster cuts, as the Colts ended up releasing a total of 4 players and waived a total of 5 players on Sunday after winning their game on Thursday against the Cincinnati Bengals on the road 27-14 and to wrap up the preseason. But now they will have to cut their roster down from 90 to 53, which is cutting 37 players, and they started off on Sunday by cutting the first 9. And I'm going to go over the following players that have been cut by the Indianapolis Colts. So the 4 players that were released, more popular names than the players that were waived. Greg Ward, wide receiver, who spent time with Philadelphia and has a history with head coach Shane Steichen. Spent time with him in Philadelphia. Was the main reason they brought him in. Derek Rivers, a defensive end. I know Derek Rivers from spending time with my favorite team, the Houston Texans, so they end up waiving defensive end Derek Rivers. Now, I was kind of up and down about Derek Rivers in Houston. He showed some good things. There were some bad things. I don't know how he did in Indianapolis, in the preseason, but I do know he was able to do some solid things in Houston. Now, I want to go back to Greg Ward. And Greg Ward, in the preseason game where they lost 27-14, they ended up, winning that game. He did have 1 reception. It was for 9 receiving yards. That was it. Then they also released safety Ronnie Harrison Jr., and then they also released wide receiver Tyree Cleveland. Cleveland did not have any receptions in the 27-14 win against the Bengals. The following players were waived: Clay Fields III, cornerback, kicker Spencer Schrader, who was not expected to be the starter this year, who's a backup kicker, was waived. I mean, you could see him sign back to the practice squad potentially, just because of the fact that you could use a backup kicker in the practice squad. I do know he did make a field goal in the game the other day against the Bengals. Then they also waived quarterback, who was their 4th string quarterback, 5th string, because they have Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco, Sam Ehlinger, and Jason Bean, who Jason Bean could and probably will get cut. And he looked pretty solid for them. Because they're not going to carry 4 quarterbacks on the roster, but I think he's a really nice guy to have on the practice squad. I do expect Jason Bean to get picked up to the practice squad, as he looked pretty solid in the preseason. But the other quarterback, Kedon Slovis, I think it's Slovis, looked pretty solid in the last preseason game, 5 or 6 with 31 passing yards. He threw some short throws, but looked pretty solid. And then the other players that were waived: Mike Smith Jr., the linebacker, and then wide receiver Derek Slywicka. So a couple wide receivers, have been cut. 3 wide receivers were cut: Tyree Cleveland, Derek Rivers, Derek Slywicka. So 3 wide receivers cut from the roster, and there could be more. I mean, I don't know how many more, but there will probably be a couple more wide receivers cut from their roster. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Colts making some roster cuts. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.